Welcome to the studios of WCMU Public Media. This time, our first Season 20 semifinal between Ludington and Traverse City Central. We've got that for you next.
Support for Quiz Central is provided by the CMU Bookstore. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, maroon and gold memories, and an official outfitter of Adidas apparel at the Central Michigan University owned and operated CMU Bookstore. Online shopping 7 days a week at cmubookstore.com, on campus at the University Center, and game day locations at Kelly Short Stadium and the John G. Kulhalvi Event Center.
Hello again, everyone. I'm David Nicholas. It's semifinal time here on Quiz Central, and we're welcoming in students from Ludington as they take on the team from Traverse City Central. It's a 16-team single elimination tournament. At the end of the season, 4 lucky Quiz Central seniors will receive a book scholarship provided by the CMU Bookstore. Plus, top teams from Quiz Central will qualify for the NAQT High School National Championship Tournament. All right, so let's get to our game. Our first round is the Maroon and Gold Rush. Teams will have 2 minutes to answer as many toss-up questions as they can. If a team answers incorrectly, the opposing school has the opportunity to answer that question. Teams may not consult during this round. Throughout our game, correct answers are worth 10 points apiece, and there is no deduction for incorrect answers. All set, players? Here comes your first question. What politician ran on a ticket with Indiana Senator Dan Quayle when he...
George H.W. Bush.
That is correct. AZT, or zidovudine, is a medication originally developed to treat what?
AIDS.
That is also correct. What jellyfish like beans, which are native to the planet SR388 and are also seen on Zebes, are hunted in a namesake Nintendo series by Samus Aran?
Metroid.
That is correct. What state's flagship university is in the city of Missoula, which is near the confluence of the Bitterroot and Blackfoot rivers?
Missouri.
That is incorrect. Traverse City Central, the guess?
North Dakota.
Also incorrect. Back to a toss-up. What boy who dies when Roger releases a boulder at Castle Rock wears glasses?
Piggy.
That is correct. The Yongle Emperor commissioned the Forbidden City Palace complex in what northern Chinese city after making it?
Beijing.
That is also correct. A French scientist names what fictitious force that acts upon objects considered as lying within a frame rotating with respect to an inertial frame?
Centrifugal.
Incorrect. Ludington with a guess?
Centrifugal.
Also incorrect. Toss up for both teams again. What peninsula, whose north is spanned by the Cantabrian Mountains, is home to the Tagus River, which empties into the Atlantic Ocean at Lisbon?
Iberia.
That is more specific, please.
Iberian Peninsula.
Correct. And that signals the end of that round. At the end of the Maroon and Gold Rush, Traverse City Central out to an early 50-10 lead. Let's go back first to and also check on the answers that were incorrect for both teams. The state's flagship university in Missoula, that is the University of Montana. Also, the French scientist was Coriolis. Coriolis force was the answer we were looking for there. And before we get to our next round, let's learn a little bit more about our students competing today. First, as we say, welcome to the students from Ludington.
Hello, my name is Gabriel Hill. I'm a senior at Ludington High School, and I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Hi, my name is Joe Klein. I'm a junior at Ludington High School, and I play tenor sax in the jazz band.
Hi, my name is Jackson Skipper. I'm a senior at Ludington High School, and I play trombone in the marching band.
My name is Quinn Merchant. I'm a senior at Ludington, and I'm the drummer in the jazz band.
Thank you, Ludington High School. Great to have you here. Let's see your opponents for today, our team from Traverse City Central.
My name is Arthur Lieski Lee. I'm a junior at Traverse City Central High School, and I'm on the debate team.
My name is Henry Sullivan. I'm a junior at Traverse City Central High School, and I play the oboe and clarinet.
I'm Helly Taylor. I'm a junior at Traverse City Central.
I'm Nate Brewer. I'm a junior at Traverse City Central, and I'm on the tennis team and the golf team.
Thanks to all the students from both schools. Our next round here on Quiz Central is the kickoff round. The kickoff round includes a combination of toss-up and bonus questions. The team that correctly answers the toss-up will get the opportunity to answer a single bonus question. Missed toss-ups can be stolen, but there is no consulting on these questions. A correct answer on a toss-up allows for a single follow-up bonus question. No stealing on the bonuses, however, teams can confer, and we'll take those answers from the captain. After a bonus question, we'll go back to a toss-up for both teams. Buzzers ready? Players ready? Here comes your first question. Master is one of the first English words taught to what character?
Friday.
That is correct. A bonus question for you. What former shadow minister for exiting the EU replaced Jeremy Corbyn as leader of the Labour Party and in 2024 became Britain's prime minister?
Truss?
No, it's the correct prime minister.
Oh, not Vivek Ramaswamy. It's Sunak, Rishi Sunak.
No.
Answer?
Sunak.
That's incorrect. We were looking for Keir Starmer was the person we were looking for. All right, back to a toss-up for both teams. What composer of a set of 12 transcendental etudes was a Hungarian piano prodigy?
Chopin?
That is incorrect. Ludington?
Brahms.
Also incorrect. We were looking for Franz Liszt. Toss-up for both. What writer described her feelings for Peter Van Pels in letters to an imaginary friend named Kitty and hid in a secret annex while keeping a diary?
Anne Frank.
That is correct.
Good job.
And the bonus question for you. In statistics, what term refers to data points that are a significant distance from the mean, possibly indicating some sort of error?
Outlier.
Outlier.
That is also correct on the bonus. Toss up now for both teams. What god, whose Ba was represented by the Minervis bull, worshipped at Heliopolis, was often...
Apollo?
That is incorrect. Traverse City Central with a guess.
Ra?
That is correct. And a bonus question for you. What cybersecurity company caused major business disruptions in July 2024 after a flawed update to its anti-hacking software, Falcon Sensor?
No.
Yeah.
Microsoft.
That's incorrect. We were looking for CrowdStrike there. Toss up for both teams. What radioactive isotope, which can be synthesized by a neutron bombardment of lithium-6, is an isotope of hydrogen that has 2 neutrons?
Deuterium?
Incorrect on that. Ludington?
Tritium?
Tritium is the one we were looking for. That is correct. And we head to the bonus question here. In 1960, U.S. pilot Gary Powers was shot down over the Soviet Union in what model of spy plane, which lent its name to the ensuing diplomatic incident?
U2?
Go for it.
U2.
That is correct. Toss up for both. What composer who used blues progressions in his piano concerto in F included a clarinet glissando?
Gershwin.
That is correct, George Gershwin. And the bonus question, what English infinitive verbs equivalents include the Italian verbs essere and stare and the similar Spanish verbs ser and estar?
To be.
To be.
That is correct. Toss-up question for both teams. What author wrote about the social reformer Romney in the poem Aurora Lee and published love poems in her 1850 book Sonnets from the Portuguese?
Elizabeth Barrett Browning?
That is correct. And a bonus question for you. What artist whose 2017 documentary 5'2" shows the making of Perfect Illusion and her album Joanne sang the songs Telephone and Bad Romance?
This is Lady Gaga.
Yeah. Lady Gaga.
That is correct, Lady Gaga. Toss up for both teams. In what country was dictator Fulgencio Batista?
Cuba.
That is correct. Bonus question. What tribal group, whose member a Red Cloud signed the Treaty of Fort Laramie, led the coalition that killed George Custer at Little Bighorn?
Oh, this is Sitting Bull.
Go for defer to Gabe.
Defer to Gabe.
Sitting Bull.
That is incorrect. The tribe we were looking for were the Sioux.
You're good. You're good.
Toss up for both teams. What American woman painted a child's feet being washed in her work, The Child's Bath?
Wyeth.
That is incorrect. Traverse City Central?
Smith.
Incorrect. We were looking for Mary Stevenson Cassatt. And the bell signals the end of the kickoff round. We've got a good close one now. Traverse City Central is at 90, Ludington at 80 as we get set for the perfect 10. In the perfect 10, you'll have 60 seconds to answer questions from a choice of clues to 3 categories. The opposing team will have 30 seconds then to answer any unasked, incorrect, or skipped questions. You can consult throughout the entire round, and we will take the answers from the captain. The team that's trailing will get the first choice to pick a clue to a category. Let's take a look at those perfect 10 categories for today. Lots of Lake Love, hometown team, and the ayes have it.
We'll go with hometown team.
Athletic cities. Given an athlete and sport, name the U.S. city where their professional team is based. Again, athletic cities.
No buses.
Given an athlete and sport, name the U.S. city where their professional team is based. 60 seconds on the clock for Ludington as we start your perfect 10. Aaron Judge, baseball.
New York.
New York.
That is correct. LeBron James, basketball.
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
That is incorrect. Lionel Messi, soccer.
Argentina.
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires.
That is incorrect. Joe Burrow, football.
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
That is correct. Sidney Crosby, hockey.
Toronto.
Toronto.
Incorrect. Tyrese Halliburton, basketball.
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
That is incorrect. Justin Jefferson, football.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
That is correct. Julio Rodriguez, baseball.
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Incorrect. Aja Wilson, basketball.
New York.
New York.
Incorrect. And Tiagala Mada. Oh, bell signals the end of the round. We did not get to that, so we'll head over to Traverse City Central. Given an athlete and a sport, name the U.S. city where their professional team is based. 30 seconds on the clock as we start with LeBron James, basketball.
Los Angeles.
Correct. Lionel Messi, soccer.
Miami.
That is correct. Sidney Crosby, hockey.
Montreal.
That's American
No,
cities.
it's Jacksonville. I don't know.
Pittsburgh.
That is correct. Tyrese Halliburton, basketball.
That's in Indiana, but they said Indianapolis, so I just go Indiana.
Indiana.
That is incorrect. Julio Rodriguez, baseball. Bell signals the end. We did not get to that. We'll start, though, with the missed questions there as we got it at the bell. Julio Rodriguez plays in Seattle. Aja Wilson plays in the WNBA for the Las Vegas club, the Las Vegas Aces. Thiago Almadala is soccer, plays in Atlanta. All right, we'll continue then in the perfect 10, Traverse City Central. Now you get your choice with 60 seconds on the clock to choose from Lots of Lake Love or The Ayes Have It.
Whatever you choose.
Is it eyes like starts with an eye or something like that?
Whatever you choose.
I would go with what you feel. If you feel confident in lakes, do it.
The ayes have it.
Only Ayes. Give these answers whose only vowel is the letter I.
Okay.
Again, only Ayes is the category. Give these answers whose only vowel is the letter I? Your 60 seconds starts with common type of local wireless internet network.
Wi-Fi.
Correct. Metal with atomic symbol SN.
Tin.
Correct. Winter Olympic sport with a downhill type.
Skiing.
Correct. Colored portion of the eye.
Iris.
That is correct. With the ego and superego, a part of Sigmund Freud's model of the psyche.
Id.
That is correct. Long, thick, tube-shaped pasta.
Vermicelli. Ziti?
Ziti.
That is correct. 5-letter synonym for the word municipal.
Civic.
That is correct. Base on which a sculpture is placed.
Oh.
Pass.
A type of reel showcasing key movements.
Reel. Film?
Film.
That is incorrect. The bell signals the end there. Okay, Ludington, you've got a chance to pick up a couple of these. Again, the category is only eyes. Give these answers whose only vowel is the letter I. 30 seconds for the two that were missed. Here we go. Base on which a sculpture is placed.
Throw out a guess.
Pass.
A type of reel showcasing key moments.
Highlight.
That is correct. Overall female reproductive organ of a flower.
Oh,
Piston.
Proboscis? No.
pistol, right?
Go for it.
Pistol.
No.
Pistol.
That is correct.
It had 2 eyes.
And the base on which the sculpture was placed was a plinth, was the answer that we were looking for. At the close of the perfect 10, Traverse City Central holds a 190 to 130 lead. And next up is our 4th round. It's the home stretch, and in the home stretch, we'll have a combination of toss-up and bonus questions. The team that correctly answers the toss-up will get the opportunity to answer a single bonus question. Missed toss-ups can be stolen, but there is no consulting on these questions. A correct answer on the toss-up allows for a single follow-up bonus question. No stealing on the bonuses, however, teams can confer. We'll take the answers from the captain. After a bonus question, we go back to a toss-up for both teams. Buzzers ready? Here comes your first question. What quantity for which quasas can be used to measure its dynamic type is 0 for superfluids and
Viscosity.
That is correct. Your bonus question. What molecule which can be oxidized to produce formaldehyde is the simplest alcohol?
Thinking like ethanol. Yeah, I like that.
Ethanol.
That's incorrect. We were looking for methanol. Toss-up for both teams. What tourist sites include Connecticut's Lake Compounce, Virginia's Busch Gardens, and Ohio's Cedar Point, which has the...
Amusement parks.
That is correct. Amusement parks indeed. And the bonus question, what German philosopher expanded his concept of Seligkeit, an ethical life rooted in tradition, in his 1807 work, The Phenomenology of Spirit?
Hegel.
Oh, it is.
Defer to Gabe.
Hegel.
Hegel is correct. Toss-up for both teams. Yoshizawa Randlet diagrams aid in what art form used by an atomic bomb survivor Sadako Sasaki?
Origami.
That is correct. Origami is what we're looking for. The bonus question here. What mountain nymph who wasted away after falling in love with a handsome Narcissus was cursed to only be able to repeat what others say?
Oh, it's a bonus? I think it's Echo.
Echo.
Echo is correct on that bonus. No need to buzz in on those. Toss up for both teams. What explorer who was set adrift by the crew of the Discovery while trying to find the Northwest Passage names a large bay in northeastern Canada?
Hudson.
Henry Hudson was the one we were looking for. A bonus question now for Ludington. The southern German region called Schwarzwald, which is the source of the Danube River, has what colorful two-word name in English?
Saarland Rhine.
What would that be, though? Yellow?
Bavaria, I guess. Oh, no.
Answer?
Defertigate.
Bavaria.
That is incorrect. The colorful name would be the Black Forest.
Oh.
Toss-up for both teams. What condition defined in the DSM-5 as persistently elevated, expansive, or irritable mood combines with depression?
Anxiety.
That is incorrect. Ludington with a shot at that. Finishing the question, sorry. The expansive or irritable mood combines with depression in type 1 bipolar disorder.
Mania?
Mania is correct. Now to the bonus. What former World War I general appointed Adolf Hitler as chancellor in 1933 while serving as president?
Hindenburg.
Hindenburg is correct on the bonus. We go to a toss-up for both. What feat accomplished by Barry Sharpless in 2001 and 2022 was also accomplished by Marie Curie and Linus Pauling?
Winning 2 Nobel Prizes.
That is correct. Both won the 2 Nobel Prizes. The bonus question here, what contemporary author wrote about symbologist Robert Langdon in his novels Angels and Demons and The Da Vinci Code?
I feel like Jodi Picoult.
Picoult.
That's incorrect. The author's name, Dan Brown. Back to a toss-up for both. What country whose Lake Kyoga lies north of Jinja has its largest airport at Entebbe and houses Idi Amin's torture chamber in Kampala?
Uganda.
That is correct. Uganda is the country. The bonus question, what author asked, if the body were not the soul, what is the soul? In his poem, I Sing the Body Electric, which is in his collection of Leaves of Grass.
Whitman.
Walt Whitman.
Walt Whitman is correct. Toss up for both. Since 2021, what comedy group consisting of Ben Marshall, John Higgins, and Martin Herlihy has created pre-recorded videos?
Impractical Jokers.
That is incorrect. Pre-recorded videos for Saturday Night Live. Answer? You're looking for Please Don't Destroy. What country that joined with Egypt in 1958 to form the...
Syria.
That is correct, Syria. And the bonus question, a Benaki leader named Samoset was the first indigenous leader to make contact with what colony's settlers who were also aided by Tiswanktum?
No, it's Plymouth.
The Plymouth colony is also correct. Toss up for both teams. What country which lies to the south? Bell signals the end of that round. We did not get to there. A very good round, though, and a very close game once again. Traverse City Central at 2:30, Ludington 2:20. And an awful lot can happen. An awful lot can happen in the final countdown. And we'll get to it right now. Teams, you will have 2 minutes to answer as many toss-up questions as you can. If a team misses a question, the opposing team has the opportunity to answer. Teams may not consult during this round. All set, players? Good luck. Here comes your first question. What African country's 2024 presidential election was won by the Patriotic Salvation Movement's Mohamed Deby, the son of former President Idris Deby?
Kenya.
That is incorrect. Ludington with a guess?
Nigeria.
Incorrect. What June 2024 event in which more than 1,000 people died as temperatures exceeded 120 degrees Fahrenheit is an annual pilgrimage to Mecca?
The Hajj.
The Hajj is correct. In Homer's Iliad, what Trojan prince kills Patroclus and is slain in turn by Achilles?
Hector.
That is correct. What state, home to a failed settlement at Cape Fear, was the site of the lost colony of Roanoke?
Virginia.
Incorrect. Guess for Traverse City Central?
North Carolina.
North Carolina is correct. In a process called carcinization, which has happened at least 5 times. Marine animals evolved to resemble what crustaceans?
Crabs.
That is correct. What continent, which should evoke a sad eye, expected so much tone, according to Binyavanga Wainaina essay in the setting of the works by Chinua Achebe?
Africa.
That is correct. What nomen or family name was shared by the 5th and 7th kings of Rome, the letter of whom was known as the Proud and replaced by the Republic?
Caesar.
That is incorrect. Traverse City Central.
Augustus.
Also incorrect. What analytical device, which can be approximated by a foam coffee cup, measures, and the bell signals the end? We don't get that in, and we have a final score. Traverse City Central 270, Ludington 230. Let's have a round of applause for both teams. And let's go back and check those answers that both teams missed on. The African country we were looking for was Chad. The nomen or family name shared by the 5th and 7th kings of Rome was Tarquin. Congratulations, Ludington. Very good game. Thanks very much for playing with us here on Quiz Central. And congratulations, Traverse City Central, the winners today. We will see you coming up. And we will see you next time for our second Grand Championship semifinal. For all of us here at WCMU, I'm David Nicholas. Have a good night, everybody.